Welcome back. Now let's watercolor this beautiful ornament. So I've already laid some scrap paper down, and here's my circle, and we're going to flip it over, and I just used some double-sided sticky tape. It's not permanent, it's reusable, and I just put a little bit of tape down. Now this just helps keep your watercolor paper from moving, and you don't have to worry about the edges, and it's nice and secure down. And what we're going to do is grab a number 6 brush, and we're going to get some water. We're just going to get that all nice and wet. We're going to mix that up with some Scarlet Lake and then also some of the other red that I have, making it nice and bright. Now you want to have a pretty milky, creamy consistency. You don't want it too watered down because you do want this to be beautiful and bright. And so what we're going to do is we first have to lay down our wash. So you want to get this pretty wet. So you want your brush pretty saturated here, nice and wet, and you're just going to get this all wet, this circle. So to see, just go all over. And you're going to start on the area that you want to have the darkest, because that's where the paint is going to be the thickest on your brush. So just start coloring. And as you can see on the left, it's really nice and dark, but you just want to go all the way over with it and get that all wet, nice and saturated. And what's great about that tape is that it's not going to move. You don't have to worry about the edges. It's nice and flat. It's not going to do anything. And again, that beautiful dark area on the left side, we're going to have that to be our darkest area. And now that this is getting wet, we want to work on our brush strokes. So our brush strokes, we want it to look basically the way that an ornament would look if you looked at it hanging off a Christmas tree, with the light on one side and the darker on the other. So because this is still wet, we're doing wet on wet here, and this just helps it blend. And so we're going to keep that light the way that it is. I just accidentally hit my lamp. I'll turn that light back on. And just making sure, mindful of your brush strokes again, because your brush strokes will show up after the paint does dry. And now with not a whole lot of paint in the center, we're just going to kind of go over that center area. And again, pick up some more paint. Start over on that left side because that's where you want the darkest area to be. And it is still wet, so you want to work really quickly here. And again, just applying more paint into that area and some more. Really concentrating on that area because that is going to be our darkest area. And now that we've gotten rid of most of the paint off the brush, we can move over and we'll still get some more water. There will still be paint on the brush. So you just want to get a little bit more water on your brush. You just want to move that ink around again. And then color the center because that's where it's going to be the lightest. And then that's it really. You just want to go over and over and over. Just kind of seeing where you want to, making sure you've gone over everything. Kind of getting your lines just a little bit more of a circle. In the bottom. And again, this is all wet on wet. And it's very simple, and I will just put this away and we'll let it dry. And we'll work on our Christmas card while this is drying. We'll see you in a second.